Hello, everyone. Welcome. Simulation Talk 277. I like repeating numbers. Can you guys hear me okay? There's no one here, so this is impromptu. It does happen sometimes that we got to do it. Hopefully, people will show up soon. Let me also set up a stage. There we go. We have a stage on Discord now. Welcome, everybody who is slowly joining in. Boom. What's up, Ellie? Ellie, that funny. Shepherd's Pie. Hello, everyone who is slowly showing up. We already have 13 people. Wonderful. 15. Welcome. Say hello if you're here. Welcome to everybody across platforms: YouTube, TikTok, X, Twitch. We had a pretty good turnout yesterday on Twitch. Actually, I mean, it was somehow it counted for more than what it usually does. It's interesting. What's up, Nicole? Good to see you. I like to take. What's up? I like to take pics. What's up, Jeremy? All right, everybody. Yeah, I haven't went live without notification in a while. But sometimes I have to do it because I just kind of have to jump on. Landscape pictures, awesome. Thank you so much. Gifter badge, appreciate you. What's up, Real Spirituality? Appreciate you. Let's see what we got in store for today. What do we have here? What's up, ambient glass? Is it possible God is real? Absolutely, God is real. What's up, Jessica? Just saw your text. I didn't finish reading it, and now you're here. So wonderful. Vika is in the house. How are you, Vika? Some good friends here. What time is it? It's pretty late for you, isn't it? Well, I'm honored that you jumped on. Let me know if you want to jump on, and I'll bring you up. Random thought, Jessica? Okay, well, let's see what the random thought was. Gardeners with path cross, running water, legs could hardly move under double the strength moon time, but also it happens when I'm on high vibe. Then I smoke cigarette, feel the strength, fall through the feet. Also had the same experience once with my ex poisoned. Your ex poisoned you? Dude, that's wild. Interesting. Metaphysicist is fun. Am I working on a documentary? Yes, we're in post-production. It will be released in the end of the year. Thank you for asking, Real Spirituality. Jay Houston. We are in full force in post-production now. Very, very encouraging and fun. Oh, you're talking about my feeling with water. Interesting. Huh. Okay. Now I understand what you were talking about. Okay, let's see how long it will take people to show up. Slowly, people are trickling in. Just because I didn't really notify anybody. I just kind of showed up. But I'm pretty sure people will show up very soon. Welcome everybody who's coming. Synchronicities, yeah, ambient glass. More of that will happen. What's up, Guru? Yeah, today I kind of went on without notifying anyone just now because that was the only hour I could spare. So I couldn't really put a message out because it would waste more time. So I figured I would just jump on. Thank you for always being on top of it, brother. He said he pissed me with love, but I poisoned me with love. Just covering his ass since passing out. No, that I mean that's crazy. How do you even proceed from there? I mean, obviously you broke up with him. I'm assuming right after that. Well, I understand, but I'm not really in a hurry to make any content simply because we're working on something a little bit of a higher caliber. So for now, it's kind of on pause. It's going to resume very, very soon. And I always appreciate constructive criticism, but the new content is going to be of a much higher level. And that takes a little bit of planning, investment, and work. But everything is coming, I promise. What's up, Terry? Doing what thing, Straighten? I don't know what you're talking about. That's crazy, Jessica. Okay. We are officially live. Wow, I actually didn't know that TikTok has. I didn't know that anybody even paid attention on TikTok that I'm posting it in advance, but I think people do because it takes a while for people to show up right now. Usually people fill up pretty quickly. So I guess the notifying people in advance actually makes a difference on TikTok. I had no idea. Well, I'm glad you did, Terry. Next level is coming, sir. Next level is coming, and I appreciate your criticism. It always is welcomed. What else did we miss here? Oh, actually, let me put this here. That's one. Then another one. That's the second one. There's a few tasks that I forget to make. And what else we said I need to do? I need to. What's up, Arof? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, everyone on Discord? There's no one on the stage. Oh, you mean you notified everybody? Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate you. And if you guys want to join us on Twitch, it's LaserX83 on Twitch. Come join us there. And I think TikTok is still stuck. I'm not really sure, but I feel like TikTok is still basically not going anywhere strange. I'm not really sure if it's maybe I'm not receiving the information or something. Can somebody on YouTube go check if TikTok is streaming? Real talk. Why has Dr. Gallimore not seen what it looks like? I don't know. That's you gotta ask him. What's up, Zobino? Awesome, bro. Spirituality. Appreciate you. Yeah, I guess it does make a difference, huh? On TikTok when I'm not notifying. I know I said it already like 3 times, but it blows my mind. I had no idea it makes a difference. Can you just show another top scientist how it works, because I saw the discovery and it floored me. Yeah, we have a few scientists who saw it. I mean, there's a lot of work that's being done constantly in the background. It's just progress is not that easy to make. Just so you guys know, we're constantly working on a daily basis. Things are moving, but things take time. I'm just here every day, so it looks like, because I'm here every day, maybe it looks like things are not moving, but things are absolutely moving. What is the subject tonight? Good question. I don't know. Let's pick a subject. Let's talk about something interesting. What's up, Yoni? Let's pick a good subject. Let's think of what can be a good subject. Doing great, Guru. Does who know about it? Gallimore? Yeah, Gallimore has 2 conversations on my podcast, and we flew him to LA to have a conversation about it for the movie. So it's all going to be in the movie as well. I didn't take it as disrespect. I just didn't quite understand what you meant, Trayton. You said stop doing that. I don't know what that is. If you mean the lives I'm doing in addition to everything else. This is not instead of anything else. In addition to working on everything, I'm also doing these daily lives. This is just kind of like a way to just engage with people. The documentary is going to be ready in the end of the year. By the way, if you guys still want to contribute to it, it's still open. And I want to remind everybody that you can find the donation page or the GoFundMe page on under the trailer on the Dango Thoughts channel. It is a hefty contribution for most people, but if you contribute anywhere above $1,000, you will also get first ever in the world streaming of the movie before anybody else has seen it. So you're going to be the first one in the world to see the movie with us. So just notifying everybody about that. Of course, do not ever donate if it's like a big stretch for you. You will still see the movie. And we're not sure it's going to be released yet, but the definitely will be out. Sabino is saying, I believe the simulation theory and what you have discovered is a real glitch. So I don't know if it's a glitch. I think it was kind of part of the unfolding. Changing brake pads. Awesome, Barov. To your car, I'm assuming, or your motorcycle. That's so crazy. TikTok is not moving. Maybe because I'm also was like mid posting something. I'm not sure. You got it, Charlotte. Okay, let's pick a subject. Let's figure something out. What subject do we want to talk about today? Let's see. We haven't had really dove like deep dives in a while. Oh my god. Sometimes everything is just so depressing. I'm looking for topics. If you guys have good ones, let me know. Oh man. What's up, Korok's domain? Dragon is saying, do you think few grams cubensis with smoke changa can receive the laser code? I think so, yes. Because it does work with mushrooms. So I think even the mushrooms alone would probably do it. How does it feel to discover something that literally changed the understanding of our world? I like it. I mean, it kind of freed my mind from the burden of wanting to contribute something to move the dial of human understanding. Now that I know that I have, even though of course a lot of people are not convinced, that's okay. But I know for me that I did to move the dial to some degree. So it removes a lot of the pressure, removes a lot of the kind of like, I mean, I'm obviously still very busy and doing everything, but it's more like a gift. It's less like a chase. It's a good question. Oh, I'm very hungry apparently. Workman, nice power. The visual phenomena, but not revealing anything fundamental, Zabino is saying. Uh, I disagree. That's the short answer. I think it reveals something very fundamental. I mean, what it reveals is that there is access to extra content of part of what the real world is that is not just in us, but is something that is shared by many, many individuals, which means that there's a new layer of reality we didn't know existed before, or at least not in the mainstream. I know a lot of people claim that they know, but as long as humanity as a whole doesn't know through closer to the scientific method, we can't say we know. And I think now we're beginning to know. And I would say that that is pretty substantial. Doki it's kind of passive aggressive. I don't think so. It's like Danny made on Amazing Discovery. It's just a figment of his imagination. I don't get that. Yeah, I think people misinterpret what he's saying. I think it's very simple to do that, but I don't think that's the case. I think what's going on is that it didn't pass the threshold of entering his domain of, okay, we know this. It's going to be a while, like he said. But I met with Gallimore in LA recently, and we had a long conversation, and we had clarity about where I stand and why, and it was a very good conversation. So I don't know why people keep, like he said, I don't know why people keep thinking that there's a beef. I don't think he's being passive aggressive. I think he's just voicing his opinion. I rather enjoy our disagreement. It gives really nice, interesting pressure to the whole project because I have to adhere because he is coming in good faith. So I need to adhere to some rules of conversation that a known scientist is engaged in with me, and that's great. That's awesome. I think he's listening, open, but he's not just going to jump on board because of I said a few things or a few thousand people said a few things. Holographic universe seems likely. I agree completely. Link a specific laser. Yes. Thank you so much. You can go to codeofreality.com and we have the full list there with the protocol and everything. Codeofreality.com. Codeofreality.com. That's the website. And you can also see it right now on YouTube, Dango Thoughts, where we're streaming as well. Got a laser from you, and I tried it a few times with my with your daughter. Oh, so first of all, Virginia, I hope your daughter is of appropriate age, first of all. Here is a video that you can use that helps a lot of people who are having a hard time. Let me send it to you. Yo. Okay. This is the link to a video, troubleshoot video that a lot of people said it helps Virginia, so you can try this. Top Igor. Want you to realign worship. I don't know what that means. Ever consider the code could be telepathy or a code of universal symbols that telepathy communicators? You mean it's kind of like the substrate on which telepathy is moving? Maybe. But again, there's a lot of maybes. We're interested in more certainties, so we're going to wait until we have measurable, testable results. Thank you. Bye-bye. No, none of the code has been decoded. We don't even know what it is, let alone decode it. Fast track. Exactly, Skinny. I have no idea, Terry. Gotta ask him. I thought are not our own, except that we pick them up and tangle with them. Yes, I agree with this. Going through your comments, guys. Is there a theory of everything or theorist, I guess theories, that most neatly aligns with your findings? Stephen Wolfram's framework, I would say. Stephen Wolfram's physics project, yes. Good question. Can you summarize your whole experience and knowledge? So interested in this. Summarize, probably not. The experiment, yes. You just project a deflected laser on the surface, ingest the spirit molecule, and you should see code. The end. What this means, no idea. And these lives in general, I appreciate the question, but these lives in general are designed to unpack these things, but they're lengthy. You know, we kind of go through different points, and people ask them all the time. We do have an incredible dedicated Discord community for this. So if you guys want to join it, you're more than welcome to do so, because we have a lot of people that are exchanging notes there. Community is on, you can go find it in my link tree in the description right here on TikTok. And you guys can also find it on YouTube. If you're not there, please come. Guru is probably going to drop it here in a moment. And also you can find it in the main page on YouTube. Can you make it with just two different intersecting lasers, like two green dots, for example? No, it does not work without a diffracted lens. So it has to be diffracted. You have to buy the diffracted lens with the laser, because they're very carefully measured for that wavelength. Yes, so that's a really good point. Would be worried to do the molecule. Had really bad trip on. So if you guys don't mind, don't put these words in the chat. They do flag for this. You can say the spirit molecule and L in this case. I'm sure you didn't know, but try not to put these words in there, because the TikTok does flag those. So yeah, this is not for everybody, for sure. I would not recommend this for every single person. I think it's something that if you're already, well predisposed to do, great, but it's not something that everybody should partake in, especially if you had bad trips. What do you know about UFO phenomena, the recovery craft? Don't know much, and my position is that almost nobody on Earth does either. My position is 99% of the people that talk about it don't know the first thing about it. They just like to pretend that they do. Or at the right moment, real spirituality. Stephen Wolfram. Stephen Wolfram. You can Google him. Stephen Wolfram's physics project. It will get you to the right place. I actually think that what we see in the laser might be his idea of the Ruliad, which is the space of all rules. That's another possibility. I'm not so sure it's language even. We don't really know what it is. Yeah, I mean, if I would know how to impact the code, that would be I would be a happy camper, blue oranges. That's the big question for us right now. I think the UFO might have more to do with this than you think. Maybe I just don't know about it. I'm sure. I'm probably even sure it does. I've never seen the connection. Doesn't mean that the connection isn't there. I personally have never seen the connection, simply because everything I'm seeing in hyperspace looks nothing like what people describe when they see UFOs. I've seen a UFO in my life. Uh, People's ideas of the UFOs, they're just so, uh, you know, human. They're not really alien. Stephen Wolfram, correct? Yep. You can see it with mushrooms. You can see it with Aya. You can see it with five. Can't say the full thing. So the other form of spirit molecule, the God molecule. You can see it with what else? Some people claim they could see it with K. I don't know yet. How the discovery was discovered is that's the main subject of the documentary. Of course, it's gonna be in the documentary. That's the main subject. I tried at different angles and distances, no results. Used enough molecule, very close to not being able to stand, still no results. Could be animals. I can't see it. No, everybody sees it at the end. There's again, watch that short video. Watch that short video. People do say that it helps. The main thing I can think of is that a lot of people make the mistake a lot. I don't know if you did or not, but they keep looking at the surface. They don't realize they have to look in. You're not supposed to be looking at the surface. The lines of the diffraction supposed to be completely blurred out for you. You should be looking in, like through a window, like super close. So the whole thing just disappears. You're just seeing the field inside, and just keep looking. The characters are tiny. Many of the entities from Dimitri and UFO overlap. I've never seen one. Again, all I can go by is what I've experienced. I know people claim that. People claim a lot of things. Maybe I've never seen a connection. Never seen grays. Never seen any of the descriptions that people give of the thing. I'm not saying there isn't a connection. If you ask me, Danny, I've never experienced it, so I don't know. Thank you so much. People report seeing mantises. I see. This is my issue. I don't think people see mantises. I'm old enough to now know that all of these insectoids ideas didn't exist before. Did not exist before until recently, when the conversation with psychedelics started and people started mentioning them in the context of the molecule, and then all of a sudden, everybody sees them related to UFOs. I think that's nonsense. I don't think they're actually connected, because I know for a fact that nobody was talking about insectoids. Nobody. And all of a sudden, you talk about insectoids here, and all of a sudden, everybody here started talking about insectoids. Very fishy. I don't think so. Show me one account of anybody talking about insectoids before the 90s. There was one account that I have to say, now that I think of it, there's one account that looks very authentic to me, which is by Danny Grish, whatever, I forget his name. The guy that did all the things with the sound and the plasma, the one that spoke in Caltech. And he has an interview, and I watched the whole interview, and he does mention insectoids. I think that was like in the 90s or something. That was the only account that I've seen that is like related, that is reasonable, and it was before. But again, I only go by what I'm experiencing myself. I've never seen it. outside of the spirit molecule, and maybe it just has something to do with me. But if you ask me, I have to report honestly about what I know. Yes, the voices in the fine world. What is the code? Any responses? They will not tell us what the code is. They're saying, what is it? They're asking you. They're saying, figure it out. What is that? The code actually, it was kind of made clear to me that the digits don't matter that much. It's what is the structure? What is this thing? What are you looking at? That's the main question. Alternate between Sally and Dimitri while waiting 45 minutes for Dream to hunt. Cool. It from bit indeed. Also, if you guys want to come on, you're more than welcome to. Just drop a topic in the subject. Drop a topic in the text so I know what we're going to talk about. You've seen the Birdman. It's wild, isn't it? Oh, let me go through some of these comments. So that also answers your question, Charlotte, I think, about asking the entities. This is a riddle for us to solve, not for them to tell us. Yeah, but the Birdman, again, these are all modern things. Like people in the UFO community never spoke about Birdman, they only spoke about the Greys. All of a sudden, when people started talking about it in other contexts, they started adopting it. So to me, it's still highly suspect. Thank you so much, Guru. We were looking in the same way you have to look beyond to see those 3D posters. I could see several inches of depth behind the surface of the wall. My daughter could see the depth too, just no code. Just give it a second. The whole thing is that. So like the whole thing, if you just focus, if you just change and defocus and refocus your attention, converge on different places, you will eventually start seeing it. Just look for any motion, anything that is out in the ordinary. And do watch that short video that I share with you. Sapphire Project. Maybe I'm terrible with names. Let's see. Reactor replicating the atmosphere of the sun in laboratory on Earth. Looks pretty bullshitty to me, but the next video offers the Sapphire Project is not real science. Oh, that's his face. Okay. Okay. He debunks everything, so that's not a good example. But I just have to say, just from the website, it just looks pretty bullshitty. The second people do the whole, ooh, then I already know what they're up to. So not familiar, but we'll look into it. These are really funny. Been thinking of a topic to discuss on stage sometime, but all I know to talk about it is things I've seen, and I've seen some things. Wait, been thinking of a topic to discuss on stage sometime, but all I know to talk about is things I've seen. Yeah, I mean, bring it on, please. Come to the stage. What do I think of the clown? You mean the jesters? Yeah, from what I understand, they're actually one of the highest levels entities. Good luck with what? So Birdman and a sadhu was wrapped in wraps and covered with ash. Birdman stood beside him. But folks who use molecules see Birdman. I was just on green. Have you ever met with snake-like entities? Actually, no. That's interesting. Supposed to be a block from seeing it. I've seen blocked from crossing certain things about deeper realities. No way. So again, it depends on your feeling, right? So a lot of people say this. They say, "Oh, I think we're blocked." I don't think so. I think it's just a matter of like something happens there, and you almost like you learn how to see it. But if you have a vibe that is telling you don't look, then don't look. That's a separate question. For the most part, it's a one-way street. Some people are having a hard time with it, and eventually they see it. I don't know why that is. I have no idea yet. And yeah, some people do see a snake inside. Actually, snake skin. Hold on, there's a lot of comments here, so I gotta go through them one by one. Uh, could be like morphic resonance. Macaroni saying, let's start. You're talking about L? L is good for it? You've seen the code with it? Could be like morphic resonance. As soon as a few see them, the rest of us now. Basically, everybody sees it eventually. Oh, an ibogaine. Wow, that's interesting. No, we didn't know that. That's interesting. Yeah, if you want to email me about it, that would be great. Macaroni. Oh, Macaroni's trying to come on.
Hell yeah.
What up, brother?
Up, dude?
How you doing, man?
Good, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Hell yeah. I'm really grateful to be talking with you today. I guess the first thing that I would like to bring up would be to bring up that and to bring up how grateful I am of everybody that is in this listening panel that feels that, oh, there's my kid. Yeah. Oh, you guys could probably have my kid. Cheers. Hold on. But that's my cat.
Beautiful. Is this a special voice that you do for your cat?
Oh, yeah. 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 Maybe. No, just kidding. Yeah, oh, yeah. That's the one. Oh, I call her Japanese names. She's looking at me like, what are you saying that? But
Me too.
I just think it's cool that you're talking about this. So I've been studying the 650 nanometer lasers you have for, I guess, 9 years now. For me, I was talking about it on blue light traditionally, and I was always talking about it with tryptamines at first, like with mushrooms. They're analogs for subtryptamines. Obviously DMT, diisopropyltryptamine, ethylpropyltryptamine, ethylpropyltryptamine, methyl ethyltryptamine, all of these But then,
let's.
trick me.
So now that you
What's
express, now that you said all of them, try not to say them again because the chat does.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I forget.
Cool. So so what I'm interested in is that you also said you tried it with the with ibogaine, right? That's
So even with lysergamides, which are what you'd call your L and your S and your D. With tryptamines, we talk about our D and our M and our T mixed with mushrooms, and then with phenethylamines, that would be your mescaline, your cactus that anactus.
I feel like anything that opens the doors of perception would show it, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Once the doors of perception are open, everything is cleansed and appears as it is infinite. I love it. But I think that what it is all of these things have the ability to raise hyperbolic geometry. So it's not necessarily a question of these specific mind states and like receptors that have to be put in. I think that if somebody likely had this massive, and I haven't done this, I really love to get this massive yoga retreat all day for like 12 hours and then came back and looked at it, like I would argue that they would have some type of, like if we're doing things that increases our hyperbolic geometry and our ways in which we can perceive things, then we're going to see things that we haven't seen before. And what are these things that can raise our hyperbolic geometry? Well, meditative practices, yogic practices, psychedelic practices, and I think that what's really cool too is this one anecdote that I like when people are talking about maybe their disdain for psychedelics. There's this one. This is facetious of this one.
Oh, it disappeared for a second. Stop calling me, Ben. That is an interesting thought until you come back. I don't know what happened to your audio, but it is an interesting thought that because I agree that something happens that is distinct when what we call the doors of perception open. Postulating that that's the hyperbolic geometry becoming available, that's an interesting thought, actually, because that's basically Andres Gomez's work is also implying all of that. I'm very open to the possibility that there are mind states without any substances that can reveal it, because I have met people that claim to see it, but maybe that's what it is. And that's a really interesting thought, because I'm already suspecting that geometry is heavily involved, because I think it's holographic in nature, and whatever we are in the hologram is functioning under geometric rules. So the fact that you create hyperbolic geometry or perceive hyperbolic geometry, it's almost like it folds it into our space. Like it goes from no perception, and then something folds it into your space. That's a really interesting thought, actually. I never thought about that, or not that specifically about that. So thank you for that. I don't know why he disappeared. I hope his cat didn't eat him. What's up, Carmen? Good to see you.
What was his name? I missed that.
I also missed it. He disappeared from. Macaroni 0312 on TikTok. What's up, Jessica?
I think he had a very good point about that, about hyperbolic geometry.
I think it's a great point.
Yeah. Well, it reminded me of something that I'd been working on recently regarding the there's a geometric structure to the way that brainwaves are built out. And some of what the findings when I was researching it, seemed to indicate that it was certain combinations of brainwaves combined that would initiate those types of states, visionary states. So I wonder if that does play into hyperbolic geometric shifts.
Yeah, I would be interested in the specifics of how that happens. This is actually interesting to talk about with Andres.
So,
he would be a great person.
Has he come back?
The guy.
Has Macaroni come back?
I don't see him.
Well, I could tell you about some of the things
I was. If you're here, let us know. What'd you say?
He's not back. Oh, I came on to tell you about some of the things we were discussing, if you wanted, about the Birdman and Sadhu.
Sure.
So, for instance, when I experienced that vision, I was just sitting in my chair watching TV, but constantly pondering things on another level because, Queen Sativa, kind of, stoned. But as I was saying, what I perceived felt like a folding of space in such a way that everything else was motion blurred, like as though it was strings going around. If you can picture that kind of linear blur around.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the center, it was like it was split. And like there was like a flame in the center.
Okay.
And that's when I had also seen the Birdman and Sadhu. But the Birdman, it wasn't well lit. It was like shadowy. Everything was hard to see. And when I say shadowy, I don't mean like shadowy figures. I meant you see it in a place that there is no light, like you would expect. The entire experience and vision, after all, is not traditional vision.
Okay.
But
By
the
way,
reason that I mentioned
before you
that,
continue, I want to just encourage more people. If you guys want to jump to Twitch, the handle is LaserX83. Let's go to Twitch and help the channel grow. So if you can and you have Twitch, go to Twitch now. LaserX83, come join on Twitch. Continue, Jessica. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. So like I was saying, as you can tell from the description, that felt like a change in perception in a way that would be geometric in nature.
Mm-hmm.
If you can understand the way the motion blur followed. But the reason I mention that is it coincides with a similar impression I had one time where I had looked to the right, seeing, and I've told you before, I see the bright blue sparks that are like thought patterns that go by.
Mm-hmm.
But those are just stationary, the blue ones. But sometimes I'll catch thoughts in motion, and those go by looking like a see-through orb, kind of like light on one side, shadow on the other. It's either light or shadow or embossed. And having followed one time and looked at it as it flew by, instead my perception shifted and I saw myself from the thought pattern orb that had flown by. And looking at myself, my appearance was not traditional, normal, three-dimensional. Rather, I saw half my face, and the other half of my face was a Native American man's face connected at the nose. There's no way to explain that because it was not of this three-dimensional perception. But that was what I saw as the thought orb flying by that I'd focused upon.
And this was not in the mirror. You're saying?
No, not in a mirror. I was looking off into the distance in space, at which point I saw thought pattern go by. And thought pattern was me following my thoughts. Me following my thoughts. I literally watched and followed my thought and became the viewport of the thought, viewing myself, watching the thought fly by.
Whoa. And that was substances
So I
or no
saw
substances?
myself from like 3 feet away. Go on.
Substances or no substances?
Just thought.
Interesting. Yeah, I know some people that can go pretty deep in that.
Meditative.
The what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know some people that
Okay.
can go really deeply with the green. I personally never could. I mean, obviously experiencing it, but I could never go pretty deep with it. But Macaroni is actually back, so if you have any, if you have,
I apologize, guys. My phone died. I have it plugged in now.
no worries.
It's interesting you bring up green. I think traditionally for many people that have had similar experiences, it would probably be in the category of like edibles and things like that. I also had not, like as Danny said, had I've definitely had some like thought-provoking experiences with green, but I think that some of the experiences I've had with other compounds are more up my alley. And it could be because maybe I'm rigid in some of my beliefs or something like that, and that it could be that like you are maybe extra sensitive because of you're more open to things. I'm not really sure how that works, but for me, I've never experienced like a ton of like profound growth from marijuana, other than, I guess, well, I shouldn't say that because, for it to, I think my whole personality in high school was probably smoking pot. And then it turned into like psychedelics and things like that. So like, was it sort of this like stepping stone into? I think the more I got into psychedelics, the less appealing pot was.
Yeah, it's exactly what happened to me too. Thank you, Jose. You're so kind, and also thank you so much for the gifts, for the roses. Yeah, it's exactly the same trajectory, and I think you're right. I think how much our brain spins the reality that we believe is real plays a major role. Little known fact is that when I tried to do the spirit molecule for the first time, as much as I really wanted, I was hyped from the second that I heard about it, right? And then for years,
I tell you a story that I just remembered yesterday about the first time I got Teamsters, right? So, like, I've been thinking about this for a while. This was probably 14 years ago or something. I'm trying to think. I've been thinking about this for a while. Like, Arrowwood was my Bible, right? Like, I'm writing trip reports. Like, I'm a raver kid, this and that. Like, I was an acid freak. Like, all of these things. And I'm so enamored with this idea. And it just seems like this unicorn. And I remember trading some mycelium magic to a friend for some. And what was so interesting is I come back to my apartment to do it, and I realized that it's not in my pocket anymore.
Ooh.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And I had previously been at the supermarket. So I go back to the supermarket that I was at like 30 minutes earlier and walk down this aisle I was at, and it's sitting comedically in the middle of the aisle. Like, the fact that in this little baggie, the fact that nobody picked it up or saw it is bizarre to me. And when I had this impression when I picked it up, it was like, are you sure, motherfucker? Like, are you sure? And I was like, oh shit. It just reaffirmed this intention of like, okay, this is something. And that could have been an archetype characterization of sort of this impression that I have of what it was. And even if that is an incredibly weird coincidence, that is maybe how my brain would take it, but that is certainly not how I felt. And so all of my friends that are interested in psychedelics are like, I get to my apartment, they're like, hey dude, could we like watch you do it? And I'm like, no. Like, I'm gonna go do it by myself.
That one is mine.
So I go walk by this pond on the golf course. I'm like, it's so crazy, dude. I take the first hit and I feel this disturbance. I feel like there's something that I can notice, like coming down the stairs about like 200 feet away from me, and like almost like this blockage. It's so hard to explain. And I come out of it a little bit. Like, it was a pretty cool experience, but not like I was almost blocked. And I come out of it. This is at 3:30 a.m. and there's about 4 people playing glow-in-the-dark frisbee about 20 feet below me. So in the 10 to 15 minutes that I was on this blanket next to a pond and had that experience, these people had came and started playing glow-in-the-dark frisbee right below me. So it almost even felt like this other, like, are you sure, motherfucker? You really, really want this? And so I go out on the deck and all my friends are like, what happened? Like, are you, this and that? I'm like, I just need a minute. And like, I lived on like the room that was to the deck. So I like just locked my door and I take the last gnarly hit that I can. And I remember my friend Zach was leaving and he's like, see ya. I almost said my name. See ya, and just this frat. And then he's starting up his car and how it sounded was so bizarre. And then that was when I met my higher version of myself, because I think a lot of times these entities can be these fractalized projections of our innermost needs, desires, traumas, wants, value systems, and things like that, projected in this very divine feeling, fractalized way that seems very personal to us. And so like when I'm like meeting this Taurus, that I'm like, oh my God, like I'm about to, it has this like purple and like green, like ancient Japanese sort of Egyptian writing, like the code going down it. Well, exactly what the code is, right? That's what we talk about here. Like, I'm like, oh my God, this is God. And then I realize it's fucking me. Not fucking me, literally, but like, it's me, right? And it's just as humbled. Like, imagine being this extremely intelligent being that had all of these senses, and then you have this like humbling ability to like see this 5 sense sentient human being that like is artistic, like creates love out of tragedy, like fucking literature, artwork, all of this shit. And it felt like when I had met this version of myself, we both had just as much of an experience of being benefited from having met each other. And it had said to me, thank you. And I'm like, no, thank you. And we're just increasingly getting louder and louder. And I'm just becoming more and more aware that this being is just as thankful as I am for having met it. And I just think that that's a common experience, like in these experiences, you know?
Yeah, actually, that I had a not that kind of experience. So first of all, that sounds like a dope experience. Second of all, yeah, I had this experience on Aya where she basically, well, I don't know if she meant to do it, but basically, I learned that it's a two-way street. Like, we're not just sitting there and receiving information. It's they learn a lot by interacting with us, and they also enjoy it, and sometimes don't enjoy it depending on the person. So like, there's like, it's a relationship. It's not like you just come there for lessons. There's they grow from it as well. They're not like perfect beings. They know much more than us in certain ways, but not in every way. I am a little
I'd like
iffy.
to experience that more with Aya, because I've like done farm ayahuasca. I haven't gone to Peru or like probably experienced like some of the depth that you've had with Aya regarding that. And that's something that I feel like people always feel like they say is the tantamount of like these experiences, you know? And like, I think that that's something I really would like to, in the coming years, like really make a mission, you know?
Yeah, I see it as the birth of responsibility. Understanding that we are also a player in the game and not just a perceiver of things. So people always it's kind of funny, like anything that is in the unseen realm automatically is given carte blanche of just like, oh, I mean, then we have to submit ourselves to it. And usually by the same individuals who are super suspect of any form of control on our level. No government, no institution. They don't want to submit to anything. They're like, it's all bullshit. It's all just a scam. Even though, you know, if something happens to them, they would be very happy that hospitals exist, right? But like, there's this perception that everything is like, it's such a cynical view of everything. And then when it comes to the space that we don't know, it's like, oh, like, you don't, like, wait a second, what happened to all your suspecting everything bullshit? So it's like, well, it's not different the second you pass the threshold beyond what you can see. There's the same mixture of good things, bad things, weird things. Like, it's just kind of the same thing. It's just more of that. And I think that what I've learned in that instance is like, oh, she's kind of like a person. Like, she's just a much more advanced kind of a person. And
Yeah,
she
an archetype of a person, really, you know, like
she's
You mean the presence?
the what will Mama Aya, right? The way that I perceive it is that the basically
Yeah.
every
she's like
Or
remembering
Sally.
what we forgot.
They call her
She's like-
Sally
she's
on
like-
Salvia.
Sally.
She's like home. She's really home, you know? Like,
What's up,
when we
benevolence guy?
remember what we forget, why is it pronounced with this very motherly expression through many facets, whether it's deep yogic practices, sweat lodges, you know, psychedelic experiences. Like, I think that the fact that like this motherly presence sort of like permeates a lot of these experiences as to like, holy shit, I've been here.
Let me tell you,
a million
after I
times.
did
You go ahead.
after I did Salvia, I was sensing that presence for months, like almost a couple of years, because it faded over time. But
The same thing happened to me on Aya. I felt Aya for like 3 years.
yeah,
Yeah.
initially for months, and then you can invoke the presence feeling for like years after.
Salvia is a water spirit, is Maria Sabina says it in Oaxaca, Mexico, and she did a lot of these salvia ceremonies, and it's always the quid or sublingual method. And she basically says that a lot of the reasons that us in America have these chaotic experiences surrounding salvia is because we're introducing fire to it. So, I mean,
interesting. What is the fire? We are fire?
No,
We burn it.
Oh, because we burn it. Right.
And she
Oh, so you're supposed to chew it, right? You're supposed to chew it?
Yeah, it's subliminal. Yeah, exactly. And so she, I mean, I have always had this impression anytime I've done salvia. It was actually the first psychedelic I did, interestingly enough, that I'm almost like embodying this, what would you call it? Inanimate object. Like these walls that get banged on and scream, these books that are being flipped and like, you know, like there's this huge sense of like, I am this unsentience right now. You know, like the first time I did it, I was like a Texas shaped Jenga block on an upside down like roller coaster, like next to like the same things, and I was the only sentient block, and I was sort of like
not necessarily. They're all sentient.
You know,
they're all conscious.
Yeah.
And because they're all conscious, you're seeing them be present. And that's why you sense the presence behind them.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, it's like around the boundaries. I think that honestly, it's almost like, I feel like, yeah, like at this point, it's pretty clear to me. Again, I'm not asking anybody to adopt this frame, but like to me, it's pretty clear that literally consciousness is not just in everything, it is everything. And then
exactly
the different fragments of what it is
would God.
The what? Well, yeah, yes, and there's a component there.
The expression of God.
Yeah, but the component that I'm more interested in, me personally, is because I like to interact with things that we can kind of do something now, right? So to me, it's clear that the most accurate representation of what's going on is that there's these fragments of the wiggles of whatever consciousness is, that the second they buck and weave and fold, the second you have this, because it has this element of perception that is baked into what it is, there's no separating it, right? So the second that it has like some kind of a twist, the second you have something that isn't of the same flow or appears not to be, like it's a continuous wave that all of a sudden does this, for example.
That depends on this hierarchy of fear that we create surrounding it. Because if we create this hierarchy of fear surrounding the expectations and the outcomes and our ability and belief systems surrounding it to dictate and to believe and to understand what is going to happen at these things, we're going to immediately be met, usually with disdain or just being wrong or about these ideas of what we hold to these structures of systems. Like if I expect culture to completely react and to sort of prescribe them in a way of what I think is most beneficial to them, like, I mean, like that'd be ideal. It's just it's not going to happen, right? And it's like all across the board and things that we have. It's navigating that, and then what? You know, because like it would be bullshit if we all agreed on shit. Like that shit would be boring. Like that's why we're out here on like panels and stuff.
Well, we there is consensus, right? So like there, with all the disagreement,
truth, right,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then I think the consensus. So what I've realized is that whenever people have these conversations, they sometimes don't realize that they have different goals, and they express the same idea from the perspective of a different goal, and they don't understand why they don't agree. And it's because they have a different goal. Like people just would talk, and to them, the most obvious thing that they don't even question is that all they care about is, let's say, the healing part, which is beautiful. Of course, it's beautiful. When I talk about things, all I care about most of the time is like, how do I formulate this in a way that is coherent and matches everything else? I'm interested in the consensus, right? And then to me, that what it does, it helps mitigate all other disagreements. It kind of bridges between all the levels. So what I was trying to say is that when you have this like twist, let's say, the perception from one side to the other seems like the other, seems like another. And that other, and if you allow that resonance of the the twist to unfold even more, then you experience what we call fear, which is like, oh, it's yeah, and then that the dissonance is basically, but if you just allow it, you can easily untwist and see that you're part of the same flow.
Mike, we only experience duality because we view things as separate from us. And I know that that's easy to say from like, you know, but dude, like that is not easy for me on most days. Like I came from addiction. I came from a whole bunch of shit to where like that shit on any given day was absolutely absurd to me. And for me to think that that ever could help me, and the fact that thinking that by taking responsibility of like my personal narratives and my head stories, would it all benefit me or at all like become a part of my daily reprieve and like sort of like spiritual exercise? Like that never, like it was sort of like, I mean, well, you know, I shouldn't say never. I should, because I think I was always a good person. I think maybe for some people it's a bit more difficult sometimes due to head stories that are woven, right? Like I was very lucky that I had some very cool parents and some very cool people around me during those times that I was going through those things to sort of be like shown some of these things to where like it just sort of made sense, like he was talking about, and I don't know, like it just, and
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think we agree on that. I think ultimately what it's for me is easier traversing of the space. The more I understand what it really is, the easier it is for me to maneuver through the space of what it is. It's just kind of like entering a dark room. If you memorize what's in the room and you know what the everything is, even if the room is dark, it's easier to navigate through the room because you know what's there. And some people,
well, if I'm in one of those roll rooms that are dark and they prescribe, you know, the whole room being dark except their servers and this and that, and then here you are being sort of this outlier of, well, I'm okay with this. It's like sort of like, what is that room then, right?
I'm okay with this. Well, what else can you do? I'm not really an outlier. I think that the second it sounds like
maybe I worded it wrong.
Well, it's light on top and dark on the bottom.
That came across
just like a shadow.
Wait, hold on. You guys are talking over each other. Let first of all, finish your thought, and then Jessica, and then you go. Go ahead, brother.
I was just saying that I apologize if what I said came across wrong, because I don't want to.
No. I didn't take it as a no. I don't. I never take offense. I meant like in a very technical sense. I don't think I'm an outlier in that. Really, the aim is kind of like a more Buddhistic aim, which is just to letting go. And like you said, most people pay lip service to it, and it's a lot harder, a lot easier said than done. But to a large degree, I managed to do it most days, right? With most things, which is just like the second I feel like any ramping up, I was like, especially when it's like, it feels like super important. Now, sometimes I fail, but for the most part, I'd be like, it does this thing. I'm like, thank you. And I would just sit down and start breathing.
You never fail.
Yeah, just like sit down and it's like all of the stuff that you're telling me right now, mind about like how crazy it is that if I miss this thing or don't do that thing, I don't believe you. I'm just gonna sit down and breathe, and everything's gonna be okay. And the thing to me, that's the thing that always brings back the joy, brings back the being able to actually show up. And of course I fail, but I know where I was 10 years ago, where I am now, and it's just like night and day. So I know the progress is possible. Before, I didn't even believe in progress. Like whenever I would see other people struggle, I'd be like, because I didn't see a lot of changes in myself, I didn't believe that that's possible. So, and whenever somebody would struggle, I heard all these people giving people advice. I'm like, what do you even like? There's no way. Like you're never gonna get out of it. Like it's just what it is. That was and it wasn't even a cynical thing. Like I just believed that that's what it was. And then only when I saw that the transformation, and you can actually engage with it, you can actually make the change in real time. It's just a decision right now. Now, you also have to train your nervous system to do it. Because if your nervous system is constantly deranged, and this is the problem with addictions, for example, that your nervous system is just wired wrong. Like it's just like out of whack completely. So even when you're trying to do these other things, your nervous system constantly like stabs you in all directions. So you're like, I don't even know what to do. So it's not as easy as some people would say, oh, just change your mind. It's like, yeah, but if your nervous system is messed up, you just can't. You got to gradually build yourself back up to a more stable state from which you can then, start ascending higher and higher.
I think that's a good distinction to have, because I think that for many people, all of these experiences would be really beneficial to them. I think that hearing about them are really interesting, and I think that like curating one's own experience through like intention and belief to be like, here's something that like I know to be true, that like I know like can help me out. Like, do you know what's crazy? Like, that has helped some of my friends out is when they do not have access to some of these compounds, they pretended that, like, through these, like, I know this sounds insane, but like through these like meditative practices, like, here's this compound that I'm taking with my tea today. And with it is sort of these, steadfast beliefs that I'm going to hold myself to in terms of belief systems I'd like to hold myself accountable to and look at. And like, even if it's like we are the placebo, like if we
what the choices that we make constantly changes our actual biochemical constituents all the time. I agree. Michael Levine has even saying that.
Yeah, and I just think that what's so interesting about that is, I guess this thing for me is non-dualism.
It's part of it.
Dualism, man.
It's part of it. It's part of the game. I'm 100% with you. That the non-dual. The thing is that it's more of a buzzword now than anything else. People are like non-dual. I'm like, dude, you are dual. Like you are in this world.
What I should say instead, and what I've been saying lately, is when duality doesn't work, folks, give non-dualism a chance.
Yeah, that's a really good way of actually discerning between the two. Prometheus, thank you so much. It's very, very generous of you saying hello, Dan. This is for that gentleman you mentioned a while ago about helping him out. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. I don't recall his name. His name is Casey, but you said all the money would go to him. Absolutely, it goes directly to him. Thank you so much, Prometheus. Yep, all of that goes to him directly. Thank you so much for being so generous. And I actually think that this kind of covers the majority of his monthly now. That what Prometheus is talking about is that recently. Oh, Macaroni just jumped off. Okay, so I'm gonna have to jump off in a moment. Everybody follow Macaroni0312 on TikTok. Macaroni0312 on TikTok. Follow him. You're awesome, brother. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. What Prometheus just donated to is every day I'm encouraging everybody who can to donate at least $1 every few days, every 10 days, every 20 days, every 5 days, doesn't matter. If $1 is something you can actually spare and it does not grind you, or like if it's not $1 you're gonna miss, and it comes with love and it comes with ease and it comes with flow, please donate that $1 here on YouTube, and I'm sending it to the current identified person of need. Currently, the identified person of need is Casey, who's an individual who lives currently in Mexico, survives on very little. And yes, it is a slightly sad story because every once in a while he has to sleep outside and sometimes not eat. And that is terrible. And I figured that because I know of his situation and other people that I know are of real need, we can utilize the fact that a lot of people are showing up for these lives on a daily basis to donate a small amount that actually for some people means everything. Because for $5 you can eat and doesn't have to sleep outside a day. And if people would donate $1, because a lot of people are coming here, it doesn't have to be the same people, but if different people on different days would donate $1, we can actually make a big difference. I think in a month we can actually sustain at least 2 or 3 people that are really need it. And I've identified particular individuals that I know will not spend it on the RUGs or things like this, that they're people who are trying to just do their thing, and for different reasons currently they can't really stand on their own feet. And if we can help with that, that would be amazing. And eventually we'll move this to a much more streamlined way in which we can help more individuals. So thank you so much, Prometheus, for donating. And if anybody else has the capability and can donate even $1, by the way, it makes a big difference, just so you know, that if 5 people donate $1, that's $5. That's a daily that Casey can eat. That's amazing, right? And all of the money, the channel does not keep any of the money. It goes, all of it, 100% goes directly to a person of need. And I'm not waiting for YouTube to send it to me the second people donate here. I know YouTube will send it to me, so I immediately send it to him that day from me. And I'm always adding money, of course. So thank you so much for this donation. And if anybody else feels like they want to, please donate. That would be wonderful. I do have to adjourn because we have dinner ready. Jessica, sorry I'm doing it so abruptly. But I want to, first of all, acknowledge you. I want to acknowledge our wonderful moderators, Jessica and Guru. Thank you so much, guys, for always being on top of it. Thank you so much for Ebony and Chris, who weren't with us for the last few days because they're enjoying their time. We love them dearly. And thank you so much also our incredible moderators. I want to thank the community, old and new, for always being here, always supporting. Benevolent Sky, thank you so much. I always forget because I'm not looking at TikTok. For being the moderator on TikTok, I really appreciate you. Thank you for all the guests always coming and sharing ideas. It's lovely. Evil Icon, appreciate you. All the people that are always gifting. Jose, thank you so much, guys, for making this community what it is. If you want to follow me cross platforms, you'll be Danny Goller on TikTok and Instagram. You'll be Goller Danny on X. You'll be LaserX83 on Twitch. And it's Dango Thoughts on YouTube. DANGO Thoughts on YouTube. You can also join the membership program on YouTube that gives you access to our, first of all, weekly lives, aside from these daily lives in which we dive much deeper into topics. They're for members only. They're a lot of fun. They're every Sunday. So if you join the membership program, you will get access to that. If you join from the second tier and up, you will get access to Zoom calls with me. One is, in the end of the month, I should probably set it up already. If you are joining from the second tier and up, email me to the email listed there so I can send you an invite to our next Zoom call. These are a lot of fun because there's not a lot of people there, so it's a pretty private conversation, and we get to exchange a lot of ideas, and we talk for like 2-3 hours. It's always wonderful. Also, please come join our Discord community, the links to which you can find on YouTube and TikTok in the link tree. You can still donate and contribute to the film. You can find the link to the GoFundMe page under the trailer on my YouTube channel, Dango Thoughts. Go find the trailer, the discovery, and under it in the description, you find the GoFundMe page. It is a pretty hefty donation if you do donate that amount. I mean, you can donate $5, you can donate $1, it doesn't matter. But if you donate over $1,000, you will also get access to the preview of the movie ever. You will be the first person in the world to see the movie when it comes out. We're going to make sure that everybody who donated over $1,000 will get this access. With us, everybody together, we're going to be watching it. So I think it's pretty neat. And of course, not everybody can afford it, but don't worry. If you can't, it's all good. You're still going to see the film. You're still going to enjoy it. But that's just a really nice perk, I think, because I do believe the movie is going to be incredible. Lastly, come check out our website, codeofreality.com, where we have our merch, our lasers. We're working on a new website. Yes, I know I've been saying this for a long time, but we are. And you get also all the protocol and all the updates and everything else is going to be there. Am I forgetting anything aside from drinking water? No? I think that's it. I appreciate you guys. See you tomorrow. Jessica, thank you so much for always sharing your thoughts and for the incredible conversation. Oh, Jessica's not here anymore. Okay. Well, have a good night, guys. Appreciate you. Peace and love. Ciao. Have a good night, everybody.